here's the last scenario for calculating the markup. Calculating the markup based on a selling price, but the selling price is not yet known. So retailers who base the markup on the selling price usually only know the cost at first. And if you think about it, this scenario makes sense. How can you know the selling price until you calculate the markup? Once you calculate the markup, you add that markup to the cost, and then you know the selling price. So if they choose to base their markup on the selling price, they have to base it on an unknown selling price. But there is a solution. What you do is you calculate the selling price by dividing the cost by the complement of the markup rate. And then you calculate the markup by subtracting the cost from the selling price determined in the previous step. Confused? Well, let's do some examples. So the scenario is we want to calculate markup, but it's based on the selling price, but you don't yet know the selling price. So here's an example. A retailer bought an item for 56 bucks. So the item cost the retailer $56. So we only know the cost. The markup rate, which is based on a selling price, is 20%. Find the selling price and then find the markup amount. Since we only know the cost and not the selling price, we have to do this different method where we take the cost and divide it by the markup complement. That will give us the selling price. Once we know the selling price, we subtract the cost, and that's the markup. So in this case, the cost is $56, and we have to divide by the markup complement. So the complement of 20% is 80%. So we're going to take 56 divided by 0.8, and that gives us a $70 selling price. So if you're going to sell something for $70 and it costs you 56 bucks, it must be a $14 markup cost. You should now check your answer to see if it makes sense. Since the markup is based on selling price, the $70 selling price times 20% markup equals a $14 markup amount. You take the $14 markup amount, add it to the $56 cost, and there you get your $70 selling price. So the nice thing about this scenario is it's easy to check your work. Let's do another one. A retailer bought an item for $202.12. That's its cost. The markup rate, which is based on a selling price, is 30%. Notice we don't have the selling price. So we're going to find the selling price and then find the markup amount. Since we only know the cost and not the selling price, we have to do that different method again of cost divided by markup complement equals the selling price. So the cost is $202.12 divided by the complement of 30%. The complement of 30% is 70%. So 202.12 divided by 70% results in a selling price of $288.74. So if that's the selling price, and we know the cost of 202.12, the markup is the difference. So 288.74 minus 202.12 gives us that $86.62 markup. So one way to do this on your calculator in one simple string of keystrokes is $202.12 divided by the 70%, and that gives you your $288.74 selling price. Multiply that by 30%, and that gives you the $86.62 markup. You can now double check your answer to see if it makes sense. Since the markup is based on the selling price, 288.74 times 30% markup gives you that $86.62 markup. You add that to the original price of 202.12, and that gives you your selling price of $288.74.